Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another legendary episode of the Callous Mind Talking Head Sportscast. This week we are making our Week 3 NFL predictions and reviewing my NFL Week 2 predictions. And I have a couple of announcements, but before I do all that, you know I have to hoist the colors. The Raiders win. The Raiders win. Hoist the colors, Raider Nation. The Raiders win. Right, so before I get started with this video, I want to make an announcement about a live stream I have coming up here in the near future. This live stream is scheduled for September 27th, 2024 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So for those who want to join me, feel free to mark the calendar. And for the sake of convenience, I will leave a link to that live stream in the description box below this video and also below next week's weekly pick video. Now I'm going to continue this week's episode by talking about the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
And I know, Jim Mora, I can't believe it either. Playoffs already? I know we're only post week 2 at this point, but the reality is in the National Football League, you can never start thinking about the playoffs too early, and this weekend's games really proved it. Think of the potential playoff seeding impacts of week 2. The Raiders going on the road and beating the Ravens. The Buccaneers beating the Lions and getting some revenge on them for their playoff loss to them last season. And New Orleans going into Dallas and just smoking the Cowboys. And I also got to just applaud the Arizona Cardinals and highlight the fact that they smacked the Rams in an important NFC West matchup. And not only did the Cardinals win that game, but it may be the best game the Cardinals have played since the Bruce Arians coaching era. I'm impressed and shocked and pleasantly surprised and excited about the potential of this football team. So I hope Big Red continues to do well, because I tell you, it was just a neat game to watch. I mean, Kyler was in the backfield shucking and jiving, ducking and dodging, extended plays, throwing touchdown passes. It's a beautiful thing to see. We've been waiting to see this stuff for a long time, and I'm glad that we're finally starting to see it. I hope this was one of many, many games that look that good for the Arizona Cardinals this season. So my 2024 National Football League Week 2 prediction results were 9 wins and 7 losses. The Bills win that game against Miami, but more importantly, Miami loses Tua, and for how long is a big question. That will likely have an impact on my picks going forward for sure. The Cowboys losing at home in the fashion they did, that was probably one of the biggest surprises of the weekend for me. Obviously, my Week 2 game of the week was the Raiders going out there and winning in Baltimore, whether it be luck or by the hair of their chinny chin chin or whatever. I don't care. It's a win. Al Davis said it best when he said, "Just win, baby," and the Raiders did just that, so that's super cool. I've already highlighted that the Cardinals won that game in a very convincing fashion, and it was a great football game to see. Probably another big surprise for me from this weekend, this week of football, was the Eagles losing to Atlanta last night on Monday Night Football. I mean, raise your hand if you had that on your bingo card, But so I was 9 wins and 7 losses here in Week 2. My 2024 National Football League Week 3 picks are as follows. Games begin on Thursday, September 9th, 2024. And the first game is another divisional matchup. The New England Patriots visit the New York Jets. And I'm going to take the Jets at home to get this win against their division rival Patriots. Sunday's games start with the New York They Might Be Football Giants visiting the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns here to get this win at home. Next is Green Bay visiting the Tennessee Titans. And I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers on the road at the Tennessee Titans. The next game features the Chicago Bears visiting the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm going to take the Chicago Bears on the road at the Colts. Next game, Houston Texans visit the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm just not ready to trust the Vikings. I don't think just yet here, even though they did just get a win this past weekend by besting the 49ers. But Houston's a pretty feisty team. I think they'll keep this game close and could end up going to overtime, but I'm still going to give the nod to Houston here. The next game, the Philadelphia Eagles visit the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints are just rolling right now at this moment. And Philly's coming off that super ugly loss to the Dirty Birds of Atlanta. So with New Orleans rolling and being at home, I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints at home here. Next game, Los Angeles Chargers visit the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I gotta say that the Steelers at 2-0 are looking pretty scary in the NFC North. I mean, that thing is a buzzsaw, but it looks like with Justin Fields there in Pittsburgh and Russell Wilson waiting behind him, I think Pittsburgh has seemingly solved their quarterback woes, so that's typically been their issue. So, man, I tell you, Pittsburgh's got me believing. So I'm going to take the Steelers at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. The next game features the Denver Broncos visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm also a believer in the Bucs, so I will take Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers at home to defeat the Denver Broncos. Next game, Carolina visits the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Raiders are coming off of that Week 2 win against the Baltimore Ravens. Carolina just benched their young quarterback in favor of Andy Dalton, so I think the Raiders can make them continue to hurt. So, of course, I'm going to roll with the silver and black, and I will take the Raiders at home to get this win. Next game, the Miami Dolphins visit the Seattle Seahawks, and if Tua was playing in this game, I would be more likely to pick Miami, but since he's not, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks and the 12th man at home to get the win against the visiting Dolphins. The next game, the Baltimore Ravens visit the Dallas Cowboys, and I really don't know what to make of this game. It's probably going to be another nip and tuck game. That's what Baltimore's played so far this season. I'm only leaning toward Dallas here only because they are at home. But I tell you what, man, people are going to start squawking if the Baltimore Ravens start this season 0-3. I mean, wow. Falling from the AFC Championship game to 0-3 the next season, boy, you're going to have some people scratching their heads. But anyway, I'll take Dallas in this game. The next game is an NFC West matchup that features the San Francisco 49ers visiting the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are a really beat-up team right now, and San Francisco needs to get right, and this may be just the game that they need right at the right time, coming off that bad loss, what I consider to be a bad loss against the Vikings. Maybe San Francisco gets right here, so I'll take the 49ers on the road at the Los Angeles Rams. The next game, the Detroit Lions visit the Arizona Cardinals, and this should be a pretty interesting game, but I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals here at home to rise up again, Red Sea, and so let's see the Cardinals get this sweet, sweet victory against the visiting Lions. Next game, the Kansas City Chiefs visit the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta's coming off that big win against Philly, and now they're going to be at home, but they're playing Kansas City, and Kansas City is the real deal. They win pretty, they win ugly, they just win. So I'm taking Kansas City on the road here. And on Monday, September 23rd, 2024, we have actually two Monday Night Football games. The first one features the Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Buffalo Bills, and the second one features the Washington Commanders visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. I will take the Buffalo Bills at home to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I will also take the Cincinnati Bengals at home to defeat the Washington Commanders. Thank you all for taking some time and spending it with me today. I do sincerely appreciate it. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. And until I speak with you again, please, 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 be good to yourselves and each other, and I'll talk to you all next week. God bless.